And we're back live on your number one sports podcast, All Things Sports. Small town EP here live from Atlanta. Big Kev shot it live from South Florida. Wait, Julian had to take a sick day. The ATS family wishes him a speedy recovery. We'll see you soon. After a weekend that featured both Odell Beckham and Formula One's talents in Miami, Canelo dominates in Vegas, and more rap beef than your local butcher or deli, ATS is back to give you the real in sports. We will start in Los Angeles. Darvin Ham out as head coach of the Lakers. 2 seasons, 90 wins, 72 losses. The numbers say that is substantially above 500. Kev, right decision in firing, or was he just another casualty of the supposed annual LeBron James power trip?
I mean, it's first I want to say feel better, Julian. I hope you're watching. Probably might be right now, but so I hope you feel better. This feels I had to throw the Jordan jersey on today because we had to get busy for Julian tonight. Pause. But yeah, I think as far as Darvin Ham, I said it about a week ago on this pod. I don't know that I saw the reports, but I don't know how true it is because it does look like he's lost the team. Like the comments after post game with Anthony Davis, with the agree to disagree on that, things like that. Just you could tell that he lost the team. Now the video just came out today that I saw of LeBron calling for the clipboard during the timeout. So just clear indications that he was not the right guy as far as leadership, which is crazy because they did make the Western Conference Finals last year, albeit as a 7 seed. They did seem to turn it on and kind of figure things out as they went. And I think they just ran into a really good team in the first round this year. So I think if they would have played a Minnesota or an OKC, I know how good those teams looked in the first round, but playing LeBron and Anthony Davis is a different animal. So I think, maybe if they get those matchups, they may have fared a little bit better than they did in their matchup against Denver. But that's the hand that they were dealt, and they had to go out and win it, and they couldn't get it done. And Darvin Ham became a casualty. And yeah, I think, for me, just bringing it to the Heat, I think it speaks volumes on what he and Eric Spoelstra accomplished together. We just saw the Tom Brady roast last night on Netflix, and we saw the Belichick Brady thing, and they kind of both have like said it in their joking ways, like we needed each other. And I think it's the same thing with the Heat and LeBron. Like the Heat needed LeBron, LeBron needed the Heat, and Eric Spoelstra, I think, needed that as well. It was a tough challenge for him early on in his career. And so kudos to Spoelstra for being able to be the only coach to win multiple championships with LeBron. And as far as right now, the Heat are the only organization to win multiple championships with LeBron on their roster. So, yeah, I think it speaks volumes to that. And also at the same time, yeah, I said like the JJ Redick thing, it was a very, passing suggestion that it could happen, but we saw the reports on that. So, or I don't even know if it was reports or speculation, but I somewhat agree. Like I just think they've been doing this podcast and talking X's and O's, and why not? Like if I'm the Lakers, why not? And if I'm JJ Redick, I mean, yeah, that's as your first head coaching job. That's a tough one. But Pat Riley also took over the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like Pat Riley took over the Kareem Magic Lakers, and so sometimes you step into a tough job and you just succeed from the jump. And I think JJ is a guy who can command the respect of a locker room. And I mean, he's considered, I think, pound for pound, the best basketball analyst out right now. Podcast, ESPN, whatever it is. Maybe some old school guys don't agree because of the way he speaks on the game in the 80s and the 70s. But yeah, I think to most people he is that guy. So it's going to be an interesting development to see how
1,000%.
that goes and what the candidates are looking like and things like that for the
A
Lakers.
1,000%. I look, again, I probably say this every other episode, if not every episode. As a Duke fan, I want to see JJ Redick succeed in whatever he does. his first couple years in the NBA as a player were a little cringe to watch. I was like, damn, what happened? I didn't really understand the transition yet. I was fucking like 7 years old, you know. Um, so I absolutely want to see him succeed, and he's obviously succeeding right now in what he's doing, coaching his kids, his podcast, the Old Man in the Three podcast as well, which is a great podcast. I just don't think the Lakers need a rookie head coach. Like I think you need a seasoned vet. I, I don't think I don't want to say he's not a good fit, but a rookie head coach, in my opinion, in LA isn't a good fit. Now, I want to ask you, this question as far as candidates, because obviously, Ty Lue's name is swirling around, but then the Clippers announced that they are looking to extend Ty Lue. I'm not sure if he wants to stay in LA. You know, with all the drama and Kawhi and the business decisions that are being made as far as not wanting to give PG-13 the big contract, but wanting to give Kawhi the big contract when Kawhi is not really available. They say the best ability is availability. But digress to the other side of LA, back to the Lakers. What do you think? Because this name was brought up to me, and at first I was like, I'm not too sure about it. And it is another Duke affiliate, a 5-time national championship winner, 13-time Final Four appearances, 15 ACC tournament championships, 13 regular season ACC titles, 3-time gold medalist with the Olympic Games in the USA basketball team, Coach K and Mike Krzyzewski. What do you think about that being a good fit in LA?
I think college, when you've coached in college for that long, I I this is the reason Coach K left college, right? Because like, well, as far as what I think he had a few more years left in him if he really wanted to coach. But kids started getting paid, got harder for him to recruit, got just tougher to be able to coach because these kids are now making money. And not every kid is making money, but most of the kids are making money. In the NBA, everybody's making money. So uh, I think for him, that would be the biggest struggle is just putting
Mm.
up with certain things that occur in the NBA that don't necessarily you don't see a lot of in college. So I don't know that Coach K would ever coach anywhere but Duke as far as college basketball. Um,
If you were
and I
LA, would
don't.
you gauge his interest?
Why
He
not?
went, he coached
Like
USA
you're
basketball. He has a pretty good relationship with LeBron as well.
yeah, I don't know how well he meshed with that USA basketball team, although they won. Um, I just don't know that and it's not saying that like anything happened, but I just think um his philosophies and his attitude towards the game does not mesh with pros who are playing 82 games a season and have to win 16 more after that to win a championship. Um, so I don't know. I think it would be a tough adjustment. But if I'm the Lakers, like, why not at this point? Like you've got to do whatever you can do, and that's taking a home run swing. Now, if you swing and miss, I don't know that many people will blame you. Like it's Coach K. So um, I think it's a win-win situation for them if in 3-4 years it's like this isn't working out. It's all right. Well, we see that Coach K couldn't adjust. It's not on the Lakers. They went and hired one of the greatest coaches of all time. So um, maybe they don't put the roster together for him. That's a different story. But
Mm.
uh, yeah. So if you're the Lakers, definitely why not?
Yeah, I when the name was brought up to me at first, I was like, "Yeah, out your mind." And then I thought about it for a little bit, and I was like, "Actually, again, if you're the Lakers, gauge his interest. I think that would might be a better look as far as Duke alumni, I guess if you want to call it that, than JJ Redick would be. And who knows? Maybe JJ Redick then signs on as an assistant because Coach K's there. Now that would be nice to see. That would be very interesting to see.
It would be, but JJ does have head coaching opportunities elsewhere. So do you take an assistant job? And he might like that might be something that happens where, and he's like kind of the waiting in the wings, kind of how Duke did. So with Coach
Yeah.
K and John Shire. So
Hmm.
um, maybe it's similar type of deal. 3-4 years for Coach K, and then he's like, JJ, you take over from here.
It'll be very interesting. I just see JJ in a smaller market, somewhere, I don't know, like Charlotte, maybe somewhere. Uh, I don't know. I guess Minnesota is, becoming a much bigger market with Ant Man, and Ant Man taking game one of round two against the defending champion Denver Nuggets behind Anthony Edwards, 43 points, 7 boards. Even with the Joker scoring 32 points and having 8 rebounds, 9 assists, flirting with a triple double as he always does. That's regular. That Denver team, all their starting five had a plus minus in the negative, which is very interesting. That game, it just looked like, although it was close, I guess, throughout the game. Uh, Minnesota maybe just wanted it a little bit more. Should Denver be afraid? I know you play tonight, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should Denver be afraid, or would Denver take this one and still win in Minnesota?
If Denver loses tonight, they should be afraid. Because and if Denver loses tonight and Ant-Man plays the way he played in game one, be very afraid because I said it on Twitter after game one. He's on his 2006 Dwayne Wade right now. Like he is carrying a team, willing a team. What Jalen Brunson is doing in the East, Anthony Edwards is doing in the West. Like they are willing their team every night, and they're getting help here and there, but they're not getting all the help. Like they are dropping almost 40, if not 40 or more, on a nightly basis so far. So those two guys have both been, I think, the most impressive as far as leading their teams to this point. You see that? That's good Knicks talk from me. So I won't, even though we'll get into it. But um, yeah. So as far as should they be worried? Not yet. They lost the game in the finals to Miami. They lost game two, and were tied 1-1, and then went to Miami and beat them in games 3 and 4 to come back home and clinch it. So could be a similar situation. Um, but Anthony Edwards has been phenomenal, and he's got the guys around him that he needs to have around him. If he's going to go out and score 35 a night, that team is dangerous, like way more dangerous than I think anybody anticipated them being, even coming into this postseason.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree. I think maybe they shouldn't panic yet, but they definitely need to tighten their shoes up tonight a little bit. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in Denver. Whew, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good game. This might be one of the most entertaining series of the second round, barring the next series we're about to talk about. Cavs do survive Game 7 against Orlando. I said Bankero Masterclass was loading, and first half, boy was getting off. Boy was getting off first half. Second
I
half,
haven't
yeah.
seen the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
Boy was getting off in the first half. Second half, you know, Donovan Mitchell scores, I think, 14 in the third quarter. Paulo has 4 points in the third quarter. It was just very lopsided after that halftime mark. Now, Kristaps doesn't seem like he'll be a go for this second round series against the Cavs. What happens, Kev? Do the Cavs pull this off in the second round? Because, Boston's known to face a formidable opponent. Not going to say they're the better team, but a formidable, maybe an equal team, and they sometimes crumble. This is a Boston team, Kev, that shot 57% of their shots from the 3-point line in the regular season. That's a league high, 57%. So what happens when those jump shots don't fall, Kev? Do those jump shots fall this round?
Well, first, I mean, while Boston is down or possibly down Porzingis, Cleveland is possibly down Jared Allen, and we don't know how long it'll take him to get back either from
Very
the rib
true.
injury. So they need Jared Allen first and foremost, especially if Porzingis is out. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley give you an advantage in height, and just athleticism at the big man position. Like you've got Allen and Mobley versus Horford and who are they? I guess Tatum would start there. So
Yeah.
so I mean, and Tatum versus Mobley, I'm taking Tatum every time. I'm sorry. But the Allen Horford matchup, I think, athleticism wise, is a mismatch in Cleveland's favor. So they'll definitely need Jared Allen for this series, whether Porzingis is playing or not. Um, that game last night, Isaac Okoro was the most impactful player on the floor. I know
thousand
what
percent.
Donovan Mitchell did. Isaac
Mm-hmm.
Okoro impacted that game on defense and made a couple shots that he needed to make. And that's what you need from a role player. But defensively, he was excellent and got them back into the game with his energy and his defense. So he was, for me, the most impactful player last night, Donovan Mitchell included. Like what Donovan did in the third quarter was also incredible, but Isaac Okoro kept them in it and got them back with his energy and his defense yesterday. So um, they're going to need more of that from him in the series, especially he's probably going to draw the Tatum or the Jaylen Brown assignment. So they're definitely going to need him to replicate what he did in game 7 for a full series, especially against a team like Boston. And if Boston's undermanned, like this is your shot to take advantage of it and beat them. I mean, Karis LeVert has something against Boston. Like I don't know if it's the racism, but he definitely hates Boston because it seems like every time he plays them, he
Every
goes for 30 or
time.
40. So that'll be interesting to see in a 7-game series how that goes. But yeah, I think Boston wins the series. I thought Orlando might have been a worse matchup, just size and athleticism wise, especially with Porzingis out. Um, what they can do at the big man position, they're so versatile that I just thought that would be, you know, not a great matchup. And they've got one of the best benches in the league all season, Orlando. So uh, I thought that that would be a more interesting matchup. I do think Boston kind of handles Cleveland easily in second round.
I really wanted to see Bankero in the second round myself. It's what I told my girl when we were about to watch the game. I was like, "Yo, Bankero got the chance to make it to the second round. Let's go. We got to root for Orlando right now."
If I'm Orlando, Franz Wagner's stock is as high as it's been, and I would look into that. Like I am
Ooh,
calling to see
yeah.
what if I can get a maybe not even a superstar, but an all-star level player to pair with Bankero. I mean, I'm pulling. You have a lot of pieces. There's a lot of
Hmm.
pieces that you can throw into a trade that are, I think, teams would think are valuable pieces.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. The Boston Celtics did win the regular season series against the Cavs 2-1. The home team won every game. So Boston won twice in Boston. The Cavs won the third matchup in Cleveland. It's going to be a hell of a series. This one's going to be very entertaining. I think it goes 6. I just don't know which way it's going to go. Personally, I just don't know because listen, Brown and Tatum, if they get in their own way, it's literally needless to say, it goes without saying, however you want to phrase it. This is Boston's series to lose.
I
Like,
think I think it's yeah, like I think the only team that can beat the Boston Celtics is the Boston Celtics. And for Cleveland, um you need Donovan Mitchell to step up and be that guy, and then you need the role players to do their job. Max Strus needs to have a big series shooting the basketball. I think we saw Miami give you the blueprint on how to beat them. You just got to outshoot them. And
yeah.
they do it at a high volume and they do it well. So you have to be on top of your game for a full 7-game series if it goes 7. But Cleveland's got to learn how to win on the road because Orlando looked great against them in every game in Orlando. So, or they also look bad in every game in Orlando. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, they've got to first learn to win on the road, and that's I mean you have to if you're going to win the series.
Dallas Mavericks move forward. They will be playing the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They survived a 6-game, well, 7-game, but it only went to 6 against the Clippers. It just seems like Dallas, Luca and company, Kyrie, they own real estate in Los Angeles at this point. They might be receiving Father's Day gifts from the Clippers moving forward because this is an ongoing thing. You can't get past Dallas. Now Dallas is playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I don't think is necessarily a better team than Dallas, but they're more whole. They play better together. You know, they play better together consistently. But we did see the footage today and yesterday of Kyrie just having fun in practice and saying it's him against perfection, him against the machine. I haven't seen Kyrie this happy in maybe since he won a championship with LeBron at this point. What do you think is going to happen in this series? What are some standout players, some performances you think will impact and turn the coin the most, flip the coin the most?
For Dallas, PJ Washington's got to be really good. They went and got. He was a big acquired. He was a big deadline acquirement. That's not the right word. He was a big
Acquisition.
deadline acquisition. Thank you. Oh my goodness,
I got
English
you. I got
kicking
you.
my ass just now. Um, yeah. So big deadline acquisition for them was moving Grant Williams and getting PJ Washington. And so he is the, I think, the quote unquote X factor, especially with Maxi Kleba out. They're
Kleba.
definitely, yeah, they're gonna need some outside shooting, and they're gonna need some. They're gonna need to for PJ Washington to do what he's best at and do it at that level. So I think that's the biggest thing for Dallas. For OKC, they just got to play team basketball like they've been doing all the season. Like you've got Shy, and I think Jalen Williams is one of the best closers, if not the best closer in the league. Like if OKC is up in crunch time and it's a close game, Jalen Williams is getting the ball and he's likely going to score. I don't know that I've seen him miss. He has missed, I know this, but I don't think I've seen him miss in the games that I've watched for the Thunder this season in the fourth quarter in a close game. So uh, I love him with the basketball in his hands at the end of games. Shy is kind of like the go-to when
Mr. Canada.
down, you down, you need a bucket, give it a Shy. But if to close the game, Jalen Williams seems like he's just that guy. And so I love Jalen Williams' game. It'll be really interesting, like to see Kyrie and Luca have kind of been there. Well, they have been there. They've been to the Western Conference Finals, and this OKC team has not. Uh,
Hmm.
has not experienced any of this. So it'll be interesting to see the experience factor here because I think even though the Pelicans had CJ McCollum and guys who have kind of made uh second round runs, CJ's gotten to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think that team was close to as good, especially with Zion out as OKC. So I think talent just overwhelmed the Pelicans in that game or in that series. So it'll be interesting to see now with Kyrie and Luca, who I think is probably the best 1-2 punch in the playoffs, if not in the league. Um, it'll be interesting to see how experience. I said last time also the one team going into the playoffs that I thought had a chance to beat Denver was Dallas because of that. So I do think Dallas wins the series in 6 or 7.
Whoo. Yeah, I kind of think that inexperience, similar, and that's exactly what I think happened to Orlando. I think you got to Game 7, and that inexperience in those big moments, those Game 7s, is what really caught up with them. And I think that inexperience is exactly what's going to catch up to OKC in this series. I do think this has the possibility of going 7 all the way to 7, just based on both teams, how dynamic they are, how they play. Their closers, obviously, Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous, Luca, Kyrie, PJ Washington. I mean, they just like I said, how dynamic and how they play. I do, and how fierce they are. I do think that this has the potential to go 7. And I'd like to see Kyrie with some more success. Again, as a Duke fan, I like to see Duke players succeed, right? So
I'm happy that Kyrie has been able to get back to playing basketball with no
facts.
drama, none of the sideshow stuff. Like it's basketball and the media is not bothering him and he's able to just go do what he does and he looks like even with the media like he's smiling more, he's talking more. So it's just good to see Kyrie back and in his space and I think that's also when he's the most dangerous. Like I don't think he fuels off of the hate and the people talking. I think when he can just go have fun and not worry about anything else and he's just hooping, that's when he's his best. With the Uncle Drew stuff, like we saw that stuff. Like
That
I
was
think that's when
hilarious.
Kyrie's at his best when he's just hooping and has no other care in the world.
I want to give a quick shout out to Ray Cam in the chat. I'm sure as a Bulls fan, I'm sure that he appreciates you wearing your Bulls jersey on this episode. Shout out to you for tapping in, Ray. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We do have a live NBA playoff game right now. Whew. Round 2, game 1. Pacers, Knicks at the Garden. We are about to wrap up the first quarter. About 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Almost 9 minutes into the game. The Knicks are up 19-15 so far. Jalen Brunson has 20 points now. 20-15. Jalen Brunson does have 10 of those points. Hartenstein with 3. Hart with 7. DiVincenzo and McBride are scoreless thus far. The ball seems to be a little more distributed on the Pacers side, with Halliburton 3 points, Naismith 4, Toppin 3, TJ McConnell 2. 21-15 now. Knicks seem to be pulling away. Is this going to be a close series, Kev, or is this going to get out of hand very quickly?
Well, first thing I want to say is I gave the Knicks enough praise earlier, so probably won't get any now. But if you haven't noticed, I don't know if you can notice, but it's blue and yellow. It's like the city edition jerseys that the Pacers wear.
Okay.
I have the lights supporting the Pacers so that I can keep my title as biggest New York Knicks hater on this podcast. And so I just wanted to, let everybody know, yes, these lights are for the Pacers. And I have already said if the Pacers win the series, I will buy a Terry Halliburton jersey or Siakam, whoever's better. I mean, so they can decide who wants to hoop. But yeah, I think the Knicks win though. I think the Knicks win the series. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
They're on a tear. They're on a tear.
Yeah, and this isn't Milwaukee. This isn't Dame and Giannis, and I think a healthy Dame and Giannis beat the Pacers. I think the Pacers can make the Knicks sweat a little bit. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Jalen Brunson is just like same thing with Anthony Edwards. Brunson's been out of his mind. He's got 10 points already in the first quarter, and we got 2 minutes left. So he's already on pace to go for another 40. And his over under today was 36 and a half. So that lets you know just what
Jeez.
kind of a tear he's been on. Like 36 and a half points is crazy. Luka during the regular season, I think, was like 33, 34 and a half on a nightly basis. So Jalen Brunson has been playing out of his mind. And Josh Hart, like, big credit to Josh Hart. He has stepped up. He has shot the ball well. He always has seemed to make big threes when they need them, like shot clock running down and the ball's in his hands. And as an opponent, I'm like, yes, Josh Hart, end of the shot clock 3. That's the shot we want. No, it's not. Like, he has been knocking them down. And so, yeah, the Knicks have just been stepping up, and it sucks to see as a big Knicks hater, but can't hate on good basketball, but I can if it's the Knicks.
Yeah, man, go Knicks. I think the Knicks take this series. It'll probably be over in 6. I just hope that what is it called in Indiana? It's not Allen Fieldhouse, is it? Nah, that's Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. I'm tripping. Um, yeah, who cares? I just hope they keep it all, basketball. The fans keep it basketball. The Knicks and the Pacers, not in recent history, but do have some history dating back to maybe before we were born and shit like that. But hey, it's still there. But yeah, I just think that
don't age me because I was born.
So. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Other stuff.
I saw it. I just didn't really comprehend it. Yeah, Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6. I do think that the Pacers will win more than likely both of their home games, 3 and 4, and New York closes this out. Do you have any other updates as far as the NBA is concerned, Kev?
I mean, Pat Riley gave his exit interview today. So that was
I was gonna mention that in my intro, but I switched it for the Canelo thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody will run with the quote of if you're not available, then shut your mouth or whatever. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
he was also asked if all else fails and you can't bring in the guy that you want or the guy that you feel can help this team, is there any chance you look into trading Jimmy Butler? And his answer was no, period. And so I think there's always a message behind what Riley says in these exit interviews every season. And I think the message today was we need guys who are available. And
Mhm.
if you want to be here and you want us to pay you, then we need you to play basketball. So I think that was the overlying message in what Pat Riley said today. There's definitely a lot of, uh, clickables and, bait that's going on out there with giving you one quote and just letting you kind of decipher everything else. So if you don't see the whole thing, it does sound like Riley was picking on Hero and picking on Butler, but of Hero, he also said that he's the hardest working player that he on the team. When it comes to just improving your game and getting better, he said he's the hardest working guy here. So he while he did take some, wouldn't even say shots, he just said what we need from them. Um, he also said what it is, and so it'll be interesting to see how the Heat's off season goes. Um, Wish they were still playing. Wish they'd have a game tonight or tomorrow or all through June. But we're here. It's off season time for the Heat. We're in Cancun. Um, so we got to deal with it. How it goes. We got to talk all last season as an 8 seed. This season it didn't quite work out the way we wanted to. So looking forward to the offseason, seeing what the Heat do. I'll always trust in Riley. I'll always trust in Eric Spoelstra and company. So uh, I usually just like to sit back and watch and hope that the Joe Cronins of the world don't keep their superstars from us.
Ooh. Hey, we're in the off season now for most teams at this point. I want to end the show by letting you know how heartbroken I was on Saturday afternoon. In my 4 years, 5 years of being a semi-professional sports bettor, I think I've had some pretty bad beats. I mean, I took I took USC when Caleb Williams put "fuck Utah" on his fingers. I mean, I took USC when Caleb Williams put "fuck Utah" on his fingers, and that was hefty money that I lost. That was my biggest loss to date. I'm not going to say the number, just know it was a lot of units, and it was probably like 2 car payments put together. But regardless, um, Saturday I'm looking at the MLB lineup and White Sox versus Cardinals. Fetty makes his return. I think it's like his third start of the season. Eric Fetty. 2 years ago, it was Patrick Corbin day, and it was Fade Fetty. He comes back from Korea, a changed man, new pitcher, going crazy. Hmm. Right? Lance Lynn on the other side. Lance Lynn having a hell of a season so far. I'm just like, damn, this might be a pitcher's duel. But you know what? In the last 10 games, the White Sox are batting way better, much better against right-handed pitching than the Cardinals are. Now the Cardinals lineup is stacked, and it gets spooky. I say, hey, I know you're looking up the game cast right now. I say, hey, White Sox first 5. Fuck it. Just first five. It's 3-0 heading into the bottom of the 5th. We're in St. Louis, right? Fetty walks Gorman in 7 pitches, right? And Ciani singles to right field, Gorman to third, right? Ciani the second on a wild pitch by Fetty is what follows, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what's happening? Like I just need 3 outs right now. Just need 3 outs. Donovan doubles to right. Gorman scored. Ciani scored. It's 3-2 now. No outs, and I'm like, all right, bro, can we not? We got a man on second. Can we get out of the inning? I need this to cash, please. He then walks Contreras. Goldschmidt strikes out swinging. I'm like, all right, first out. Let's go. We're there. We're right there. Nolan Arenado comes up, smashes a 3-run bomb, and I almost launched my phone at work. Probably one of the worst beats I've ever had. Went from 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th to 5-3. And I haven't bet since. I haven't bet since Saturday. It was
That's a rough one. It sucks when managers don't know when to get pitchers out of the game.
go get
You know,
him.
because that, after the fourth straight batter reached base and two of them walked, I'm
Go
sorry,
get that
pulled in
man,
the plug.
bro.
I'll just share my worst beat ever with you really quick. It was in the bubble. Denver was playing the Lakers, and I took an alternate spread of Denver minus 6 or 7.5. I will say 6.5 for the story, but it was at plus like 300. And something just told me Denver is going to win this game. They were the underdog already. So they were like minus 2.5. So I took Denver minus, I'm sorry, the Lakers were minus 2.5, but I took Denver minus 6.5 at like plus 300, I think. Um, they are up by 7. Game's over. Denver took a shot clock violation. LA is just going to inbound the ball. And that's it. Right? They inbound the ball to Alex Caruso, who needs to show his mother that he scored 2 points in a basketball game, apparently, because he takes the ball and runs down the court and lays it in. Denver by 5. My ticket is not cash. And
Not cash.
forever, Alex Caruso is the enemy since that day. So, yeah, that was my
Safe to
worst.
say that's not a Caruso Bulls jersey you have
This
on
is a
right now.
Jordan. This is Jordan. Yeah, champion.
Oh my god! Since we're being vulnerable, and I mentioned that USC loss, I lost 750 that day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this was
I
your
had to just
Monday.
breeze through it real quick.
This was your Monday night, all things sports, round 2 of the NBA playoffs episode. If you tapped in on the live, appreciate you so much. Thank you for tapping in. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us on this marvelous evening. Marvelous evening. If you're listening on all your streaming platforms to the podcast, thank you for that as well. June will hopefully be back on Thursday. We'll update you with his status report throughout the week. Follow the All Things Sports podcast Twitter and Instagram page. Follow me and Kev on Twitter and Instagram as well. X, if you want to call it that, it's up to you. We OG in the game, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna call it Twitter forever, just like the AAA is always gonna be the AAA. We'll see y'all
Facts.
on Thursday. Peace.
Get better, June.